It was supposed to be just another quiet Monday morning at Westbrook Enterprises. But by lunchtime, half the office was whispering about what just happened in the lobby. Nobody knew that the scruffy man in the faded blue overalls, the one mopping the floor with slow, deliberate strokes, was actually Daniel Hayes, the CEO of the entire company. Nobody, except him. By the end of the day, one employee's career would be over, not because of missed deadlines or poor performance, but because of how they treated the person they thought was just the janitor. And when the truth came out, no one in the building would ever forget it. Daniel Hayes had built Westbrook Enterprises from nothing, starting in a cramped apartment with nothing but an old laptop and a relentless work ethic. 15 years later, the company occupied 3 floors of a gleaming glass skyscraper. It was profitable, respected, and, in Daniel's eyes, starting to lose something far more important than money, its heart. In recent months, he'd noticed a shift. Departments were hitting targets, profits were up, but there was an ugly undercurrent in the workplace, a growing culture of arrogance. Reports trickled in about junior staff being ignored, security guards being brushed off, and cleaning staff being treated like background noise. Daniel had always believed a company's true values showed in how it treated the people with the least perceived power. So, instead of sending another HR memo no one would read, he decided to see it for himself. One Monday, he traded his tailored suit for overalls, an old cap, and a mop bucket, and walked straight into his own company. Invisible. The morning rush filled the lobby, employees clutching coffees, tapping away at phones, heads down. Daniel stood off to the side, pushing his mop slowly across the marble floor, observing. Some people offered a polite nod. Others avoided eye contact entirely, and then she walked in. Jessica Blake, a mid-level manager with a reputation for being results-driven and ruthless. Her heels clicked sharply against the floor as she approached the elevator. Daniel had barely moved his bucket aside when her voice cut through the air. "You're in the way. Could you hurry it up?" she said without looking at him. He stepped aside, murmuring an apology. Jessica rolled her eyes. Unbelievable. Doesn't anyone train the janitors here? It didn't stop there. Over the next hour, Daniel witnessed her snapping at her receptionist, dismissing an intern's question without even hearing it, and making a comment about people in this building who should be grateful they even have a job. The worst moment came when she accidentally dropped her coffee cup. Instead of picking it up, she kicked it toward him. "Since you're paid to clean," she muttered. Daniel felt the heat rise in his chest. But he stayed silent, watching, listening, taking mental notes. By lunchtime, Jessica had unknowingly sealed her fate. She'd revealed, in front of witnesses, exactly the kind of toxic disrespect Daniel feared had been creeping into his company. The moment came in the afternoon. In the large conference room on the 14th floor, Jessica walked in for a scheduled departmental review, still unaware that the janitor she'd insulted was sitting at the head of the table. Now, in a suit, her steps faltered when she saw him. The rest of the team looked puzzled as Daniel leaned forward. "Jessica Blake," he said evenly, "this morning you told me I was in the way, that I needed training, that I should be grateful to have a job. You kicked a cup toward me and expected me to clean it without a word of thanks." Her face drained of color. I didn't realize, that's the problem," Daniel cut in. "You didn't realize because you didn't care. You saw someone you thought had no authority, no value to you, and you treated them accordingly." That is not leadership. That is not what this company stands for. The room was silent. Every word landed like a hammer. Effective immediately, Jessica was dismissed. No severance, no second chances. Asterisk as Jessica walked out, the weight of the moment hung over the room. Daniel turned to his employees. We hit our numbers last quarter. We'll probably hit them again next quarter. But if we lose our humanity in the process, none of it matters. I don't care how talented someone is. If they cannot treat every single person with respect, they have no place here. Word spread through the building like wildfire. By the next day, people were holding doors for the cleaning crew. The security guards were greeted by name. Interns were offered help instead of being brushed off. Daniel didn't need to make another speech. The story had done the work for him, and for those who'd heard it. It was a permanent reminder. In the end, the way you treat people when you think no one's watching says more about you than any resume ever could.